For the last 22 years, I've been rocking stages, playing in clubs, and having a lot of fun as a DJ and turntablist, and I've seen and learned a lot. Now it's time for me to share that knowledge by answering the questions that can help you become a better DJ. I'm djTLM, and this is Share the Knowledge.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to episode 10 of Share the Knowledge. I'm djTLM and you're watching djTLMtv, or if you're checking out the audio version, this is the podcast version on iTunes and SoundCloud. Good if you're walking down the street, driving in the car, or doing your workouts and you still want to check out all the info, get that podcast. Now, in this show, I answer questions that you guys ask me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, djTLM, and you just add the hashtag Share the Knowledge. I have a bunch of questions right here, but first I want to talk about something that's been asked a couple of times in the last couple of days or weeks, and that is my opinion about Serato DJ's latest implementation, and that is Pulselocker. So if you have version 1.9 of Serato DJ and you have a Pulselocker account, and Pulselocker is a music streaming service, you now have access to the entire Pulselocker database inside Serato DJ. Now, I haven't tested it, but I've seen it in action. I know what it's about. So my opinion is I'm definitely positive when it comes to stuff like this. And if you're just wondering, I've seen it in action. So you have to imagine if you have Serato DJ and for instance, you're looking for a song by an artist, if you type in that artist name in the search box, first, all the tracks that you have on your computer by that artist will appear inside Serato DJ. And if you scroll down, you get an entire list of all the songs by that artist that are on Pulselocker inside your Serato DJ screen. And you can just select, load those into your decks as well, and play with those tracks. Now, of course, you will need an internet connection to do it that way, but Pulselocker also allows you to store tracks offline. So before your gig, you can go online, find tracks you want, and store them offline, get your computer off the internet, do your gig, and use those tracks. But of course, the best way to be able to use Pulselocker is to have online connectivity. So during your gig, if you just think of a certain track that you want to play, but you know that you don't have it in your collection, you can just check out and see if you can find it in the Pulselocker database. And they have like millions of tracks in there. So chances are you can find the tracks you're looking for that you don't have on your own computer. Now, for me, I would probably not use this a lot, probably, but I will definitely get a Pulselocker account and use this to see how it works and if I like it. But if you're a DJ that has to be able to go all directions with music. So if you're playing in bars where they play everything, or you're a mobile DJ, wedding DJ, a lot of times you have to play an incredibly wide variety of music depending on what type of party it is. Now with Pulselocker, you will always have access to all that music. So I can understand, and in that case, it would be a perfect add-on to your own collection. So yeah, I'm definitely positive. Now this is nothing new. If you have Algorithm DJ, they already had that implementation with Spotify where you could use the tracks that were on your iPad and iPhone, but also the tracks that were on Spotify. But now to see that Serato DJ has stepped up and also implemented a service like that, it's a pretty big thing. And yeah, I'm positive about this. And I predicted years ago that in the future, DJs would just walk into a club, there would be a computer there and a DJ set. They would log into the computer and gain access to all their music in the cloud because everything is in the cloud now. Now, this is not the same thing, but in a way it is because you log in on your computer and you have access to this incredible database. So this is the first step in that direction. In my case, personally, I will always prefer to have my tracks on an actual device. So to have extra access to stuff through the internet is cool, but I want to have that stuff here. So if for whatever reason there's no internet, I can still play. So I would never want to be dependent on an online service like that. But I can see that in the future, people don't carry their music around anymore and it's just in the cloud and you just access it when you get to the club. So we'll probably head in that direction sooner or later. But I'm positive about the Pulselocker Serato thing. So that's my opinion. Now, you know, once I tested it, I'll get back to you. All right, let's go into some questions because I wanted to talk about something else, but I forgot what it was. I am excited that we're already at episode 10. Loving the feedback that you guys are giving me, and I'm feeling the format myself as well. I know this show will evolve because I have a lot of things that I definitely want to try out in this show. But for now, I'm happy with the way things are going. Loving your feedback, so shout out to you. Keep on sharing the show and sharing the knowledge. and let's hop into some questions. This question is from the DJ 360, and yes, I had him on this show before. The reason is he's asking questions on Snapchat. Not a lot of people are asking questions on Snapchat yet, so when I check my Snapchat, I run into the same people because they discovered that I'm easy to reach there as well. And if their question is good, I'll answer it. So the promoter of an event approached the DJ booth at a time when many people were not on the dance floor and says, "Play some commercial, please." But I feel as though I had been playing everything that would be considered commercial or popular. Are there various levels of commercial music that I need to consider? Now here's the thing. People's definition of these tags is totally different. So what you call commercial might not be what he calls commercial, might not be what I call commercial. So that's the problem with these tags, these labels. Because if the label was the same definition for each and every one, then the label would actually work. But something like popular music or commercial, that's just too vague of a description. So for one person, if it's not totally underground music, they're already calling it commercial. When in fact, a lot of times that stuff is still not even close to being actually popular music, commercial music. So this is hard, and you will run into situations where you get miscommunication like this, and you have to ask when someone asks you a question like this. So for instance, if that guy comes up to you and says, play some popular or some commercial music, you need to ask for examples. That's the first thing you need to do, because the examples that he or she will give you is going to give you their definition of commercial. I've had the same thing with different genres of music. I've been booked to play at a party where the promoter specifically told me he did not want hip hop because I knew I played at hip hop parties as well. Now I had seen the flyer and I knew that flyer looked like really one of those urban hip hop R&B type of flyers. So I made sure that we were on the same page. So when he said, don't play hip hop, I said, so you don't want me to play Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, Nori, DMX? No, of course, I want you to play that stuff. Yeah, definitely. But don't play hip hop. Now, in my eyes, of course, all of the stuff that I just mentioned, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, Nori, DMX, Redman, hip hop. In his eyes, those were like the commercial club bangers, so that was not hip hop. One, of course, is definitely hip hop. But if I did not ask that question and I would just not play hip hop at all, I would probably get complaints afterwards that all the club bangers were missing. So I make sure I ask, and in one instant you can find out like, okay, he's talking about that underground type of stuff that I'm not going to play at the club anyway, but now I know. And if people walk up to the booth when I'm playing and they're asking me like, hey man, can you play something, the most annoying question, can you play something I can dance to? Most of the times I'll answer probably not, because like the whole club is dancing, and if they're coming up to you asking if you can play something they can dance to, well, if they're not dancing to the stuff I'm playing right now, no, I probably can't help you. But in most cases, if people ask me and they're requesting not a song, but like a genre, I will ask them like, okay, what do you want to hear? Even if they're asking for a certain artist, like, could you play some Sean Paul? Which track? Because there's a bunch of different tracks, and you might be thinking about certain stuff of him that I'm not going to play right now. But asking will give you a more clear understanding of what their definition of a certain label tag is. I know what I wanted to talk about, so before I get into the next question, and this was asked a couple of times as well, I want to elaborate a little bit on what I talked about in the last episode when it comes to uploading your mixes, but also making sure that the right people hear it. Now, I've received some questions. People have uploaded their mixes to Mixcloud and they're not getting enough views, clicks, and they want to know how can we get people to find our mixes. And of course, being discovered is the hard part right now because everyone's uploading. So you can put your music on Mixcloud, but that is not enough. That's not going to do it. You're going to have to put in the work to make sure that your stuff gets out there. It gets out there. Now, that's easier said than done. But in the first case, if you're talking about reaching the people who can book you, you're going to have to make that effort to find out who's organizing the parties that you want to play at, who's the owner of the club, or who's the booker, or if it's an independent booker. Find out who they are, find them on social, either on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever, engage in conversation, and once you made that first contact and you introduced, told them what you're all about, then you try to send them your link. If you just upload tracks and you just send random people links without any info, you just send them a link to check it out. I receive a bunch of stuff with just a link in there. Most of the times you're not even clicking anymore because you get way too many links and there's just so many minutes in one day, and I don't do it that way anymore. Same as people who come on YouTube in the comment section and just like, check out my mix, and they add the link. No. In the past, that might have worked because not a lot of people were doing it, but it's done so many times now that you're probably not pressing every link you see because everyone's a DJ and everyone has a link. So that's not going to be enough. You're going to have to engage, get that personal contact going on, online personal contact, and then ask if you can send the link. That's going to increase the chance that people check it out. Now, that's as far as promoters goes and other DJs, because you have to make sure that the people who can book you know who you are and that you're a DJ. And once they know that, they have to hear your stuff so they know if you're good. Because at the end of the day, you need to at least have some quality as well. But it's also a good tool to have mixes online to build a fan base. Now, some people also want to know, how can I get my mix out there to the people? Now, again, this is done through personal contact. So you have to go find the forums where people are talking about the type of music that you're playing, or go to Facebook, find the Facebook groups where people are talking about the music that you like, and you come on there and you become part of that community, join the conversation. So don't just go to a Facebook group where they're talking about your music and post, hey, here's my mix, check it out, drop the link. That's the same thing as the YouTube comment. That's not going to work anymore. You can't just come in and ask for stuff. So you have to engage and become part of that community. And then, of course, you can tell them like, hey, this is what I've been working on, guys. I would love to get your feedback, blah, 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 and send them that link then. And if it's good, then probably people will share it, spread it. But it's not that easy because there's just so much content out there. But the personal approach is probably going to help you out a lot. And of course, start with the people in your surroundings, your friends. Even if they're not into your music, ask them if they would share your stuff. Because even if that's 10 people and they get 10 more people to listen to it, you're on your way. It's got to be word of mouth as well. But you have to really work on that. You can't just upload and expect things to happen. And the things I just talked about, they're no guarantee for success, but they should help you to at least grow your fan base a little bit and hopefully make sure that the bookers, promoters in your area at least know of your existence. And that's step number one. If they know that you're there, that's the first step towards a booking, because out of sight is out of mind. So if they don't see you, they're not going to think about you. So you have to make sure that you're seen. The only way to do that is to make sure that you're engaging, so that you're commenting on stuff that they're doing. And if possible, afterwards, when you make contact, send them your stuff as well. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. And I have to be honest, I would have to do the same thing if I want to grow my fan base or if I want more people to check out my mixes. Of course, I have a following online, and I see that when I push and promote certain of my certain mixes, that they do get a lot of more clicks than some other mixes. But those are still mostly people that are already checking my music. So if I want to expand, I'm going to have to find new people and make sure that I reach them and get them to check out my stuff as well. So you always have to work on that stuff. So I hope that clears it up a little bit, and I hope that helps you out, and I hope you find more people to check out your mix. And also for all the people just sending me random links like, hey, can you check out my stuff with a link? I just don't have time. And if there's no personal connection yet, then chances are that I'm definitely not clicking, because I know clicking will at least cost me 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of my day, and time is limited as it is. Now, I have one more question. This is from BV Physique, and I'm debating getting the SX2 or XDJ-RX. Long-term goal is to play in clubs and festivals, and it seems like the XDJ would be good to shorten that learning curve. Also, your opinion on Rekordbox DJ that goes along with it. Now, I have to say that the learning curve with both units is not going to be that long. It's not going to be that hard to switch to CDJs, but the XDJ is definitely the closest thing you can get to actual CDJs and a mixer. So that would be a great option. Definitely would. Now, when it comes to Rekordbox DJ, I have not tested it yet. It's going to happen soon. And the XDJ also. But in my opinion, if I see it and what I've seen, it looks a lot like Serato DJ. So for me, it would probably be real easy to adjust to it. And it has some great features in it. So it looks good. I just don't know how it performs yet. So I can't speak on that, won't speak on that until I test it. But what I've seen definitely looks very good. And I'm excited to try it out. So I hope that helps. And I know it doesn't help a lot. You have to wait for my review to get more when it comes to Rekordbox DJ. But I'm excited to try it out. So guys, I'm going to keep this show a little bit shorter. I believe it's a little bit shorter. And thanks a lot for the feedback on my question about making the show longer or keeping it around the time that I'm keeping it now, because one of my shows lasted 25 minutes. Now, a lot of you guys were like, longer is just fine. And some were like, okay, 15, 17 minutes is good. And I had one person asking me to keep it around or under 10 minutes. Now, under 10 minutes is never going to work because I want to answer at least 3, 4, maybe 5 questions. And I can't do that in the 10-minute mark, or they would have to be real simple questions. So let's just see what happens in the coming weeks, and we'll probably find we'll find that magic mark somewhere in there, or it's just going to be shorter one time and longer the next time. I'm happy the way it's going right now, so we'll continue on that path. I want to thank you once again. Now, if you have any questions for the upcoming shows, you know where to reach me. Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, djTLM. Just add the hashtag Share the Knowledge and ask me anything. Now, for the question of the day, it's not going to be about one of the topics we discussed, but my question to you is, what's your DJ gear? So what do you use to DJ? Are you using turntables, CD players, CDJs, controller, DVS, just a laptop? What do you use to DJ? So what's your DJ gear? Let me know in the comment section down below. Join the conversation, share the knowledge. Make sure you like the video and share this video. Or if you're checking out the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes, share the podcast so more people can find out about this show. That's it for now. I'm going back to work and I'll see you soon. Peace.